This is All About Home Construction, and here's your hosts, Terry Cannell-Beck and Randy Blake.
That's right. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning, Terry, and everybody out there.
That's right. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the new studio, buddy.
Yes, it's been a while, hasn't it?
We've been a little busy. I'm sorry about that, but I'm glad to get back in with the new move and stuff. That helped mess up some of our schedules, and then I had quite a few things going on, so I'm sorry, man. I still like you, though.
Oh, well, I appreciate it.
But all about home construction here on WATA, and we are live here in the studio, and we do appreciate all of our listeners out there, and just thanks for all the listeners on the podcast that kept listening while we played some recorded shows, and then thanks to all of our listeners out there that are sticking with us. We appreciate that, and we're glad to be back. It took a 3 or 4 weeks off here, and so it's nice to get back into the studio and have some fun, man.
Well, it's a lot better looking place than the last one.
Oh, I know. It smells a lot better too. The
creek's too far away. I can't walk out back and look at the creek to check the fish.
What are you gonna do now? Randy's he's not gonna get his weekly fish report in. So yeah, it's all right. Maybe we'll have to figure out something for him. So, but no, all about home construction on WATA, and again, thanks to all of you out there. And don't forget the podcast, All About Home Construction. You can check us out on wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify. We're even on YouTube. And, just anything you want to listen to, just go back and listen to this. And we appreciate that. Share it with friends. Make some comments.
Oh, yes, we do.
All the listeners that are listening live to us on WATA, you can check out the podcast, too. And then that'll help boost our ratings up because we want to be like superstars, you know. We want to be like those YouTube stars that just live off.
Oh, wow.
No, we really don't.
He's dreaming big down.
Well, it's just fun. I enjoy it. I have missed coming in here and talking to you every weekend. The last couple of weeks. I know. It's like I had to go back in my phone and remember your name, but.
Well, that's the way it goes. Here one day, gone the next.
I know. So, well, hey, it's, Saturday, and it's towards the middle to the end of the month. You have something going on tonight.
Yes, today's our dinner at the VFW, and I guess we sort of kind of changed totally off of. We've never done this before, so we're having barbecued leg quarters.
Ooh, barbecue chicken.
Yep, and so it's going to come with baked beans, Jerry Parker's potato salad, which is excellent, corn, and a roll for $14. Starts at 3 until we sell out, or we end at 7.
Okay.
So,
well, that'll be fun. It's something different for sure, but I mean, everybody kind of likes a good, you got to like a good barbecue chicken.
well, I'll tell you one, it's big pieces of chicken. They wasn't but 2 small pieces and 80 pounds.
Nice. That's awesome.
Well, we always try to give good food at a fair price. And fair prices are hard to find now today at this time.
Tell me about it. It's food is getting crazy ridiculous. So try feeding a bunch of teenage kids.
Well, they stopped imports from Mexico on beef.
I heard this. Yeah.
Because of that fly that's coming up.
Okay, I knew it was
now
some kind of something disease.
60 miles north of Mexico City.
Okay, so it's working its way.
And I can't remember when it was in the United States, but it was here at one time. And they got rid of them.
Okay.
And they're breeding like 10 million male sterile flies to mate with the females to try to stop it.
Okay.
But they had pushed it all the way back to Panama. Now, like I say, it's 60 miles north.
Working its way back.
And they're afraid it's going to decimate the cattle industry here in the United States. And they're afraid that if they import any cattle out of Mexico,
they'll come with it.
That they'll come with it because it is a flesh-eating larvae.
Oof. Great.
And
just what we need.
Well, the thing about it is, it would be in every animal.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes after mammals and
Yeah,
it
so I mean,
it's not just
you take a young kid
that
that got scratched and then had a fly lay an egg in it and start it dissolving its skin?
Ugh. No, thank you.
You know, I've had people, don't worry about it. That's just fake news. But no, that's a true thing. It's coming.
It's pretty messed up, man. That's. Whew.
Well, it's a invasive species.
Yep.
And,
Kind of like the armadillos that's making their way up to North Carolina.
Well, you know, last time I went to Oklahoma City, they'd made it to Nashville.
Mm-hmm. Well, we saw one going towards Memphis. We were still in the middle of the state. And, it's like I'm driving down the interstate. There's an armadillo.
And they've made it to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, they're coming. But I guess it'd be like groundhog. People won't eat it.
I don't think I want to eat an armadillo. They don't look too appetizing, but.
All they are is a shielded possum.
Well, I mean, I don't know that I want to eat a possum. I've tasted it before in some kind of like soup, I guess you'd say. But you could fix it for me. I'll tell you what. You put that up on the next VFW meal and see how that one turns out.
Well, you know, my brothers keep getting on to me about writing a cookbook about my accomplishments in life, and in my mother's cookbook that she give me, I'll have to go back and check a copyright in it, but there's 3 pages in it on how to prepare possum, coon, and groundhog.
Nice. Now, groundhog's supposed to be special. There's glands and stuff you have to worry about.
Well, not a
Cutting
coon,
around it or
coon's got
something?
the worst.
Okay.
They got a lot of lymph nodes in them, but groundhog you got to parboil
Yeah.
before you roast it, because you got to get all that grease out of it. But groundhog actually is pretty good.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. I went to last weekend. The reason I was out last weekend is I was actually in prison, and now everyone's like turning the radio off. But no, I went to a prisoner of war living history event where I pretended to be a prisoner of war in Civil War, and it was at the Fort Delaware, and it was really cool. It's the original Civil War fort, and they had some barracks and stuff that we were staying in. So it was living history, and but they had some muskrats there swimming across the Chesapeake and around the fort itself has like a moat around it. And there were some muskrats in there the size of a dog. They were huge.
Yeah, we caught a couple like that when we was a kid. I could trap muskrats pretty good. A lot of people eat muskrats.
Well, that's what we were joking around. I was like, "Is this our supper tonight? We're gonna fry these up?"
And but it don't taste like beef, even though it's vegetarian.
It does not look very good.
And
I mean, it's a big rat. It doesn't look very good.
a lot of the trappers, you know, I belong to trapping sites,
Right.
And believe it or not, a lot of the trappers actually eat what they trap.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And I watched a guy. He eat the backstrap out of a coyote, and he was holding his nose as he took the first bite. And I'm going, I don't think I could do that. And he said, you know, I can't believe it tastes like beef.
That's funny.
Beef. Well, you know, that's the reason they have laws in hunting,
Yes.
because hunters are not hunters, but people decimated the animal population, because until after World War II, they didn't have much, you know, refrigeration.
Right.
Modern farming
Yeah.
and stuff, you know, started in the 20s and 30s, and the blue heron is an example that we see them now. But North Carolina says they were shot out of the mountains in about 1906.
I've always heard that, but I mean, I've seen them, so I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing they were, obviously, but they're still around. They come around now. Maybe they've worked their way back.
I've got a couple down in the bottom.
But they're fun to watch, and they seem to be territorial in that they come back every year to the same area.
But you also, when you eating exotic meats, you're not going to eat them like you do. Now, I'll eat my deer meat medium rare, just like beef.
Okay.
But in my birds, you got to cook them well done.
Yeah.
But most beef or most wild animals, you have to cook well done.
Sure.
And that's why they put them in stews and stuff, because of parasites.
Yeah, you have to cook it down. You know, bear meat, things like that. It's really bad, I guess you would say.
And now my brother used to give all his bears away that he killed, until he learned out that you can cure a bear just like a hog and make sausage out of it.
Okay.
And he said, believe it or not, it changes the whole characteristics of the flavor. It's not as strong.
What are you adding to it? I guess you're adding lard or pig fat.
No, bear's pretty fat.
Okay.
And but you salt and stuff like that.
Well, cool. All right. Well, again, we're not to get too far off topic, but again, not to have any of the weird muskrats or the possum. We're not fixing any of that tonight at the VFW. It's regular chicken.
Yes, it is.
Regular chicken, barbecue chicken tonight at the VFW, and going on over there 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and it's good chicken quarters.
Now, from what I understand now, the Bristol VFW does exotic meal once a month.
Ooh.
And everybody brings their animals in, and they cook them and stuff like that.
I feel a contest coming on, man. You need to.
Well, you know,
reach out to them.
No.
We'll have a tasting contest. That'd be a fun little show.
And, well, I think I'll pass. I got too much going on now.
Fair. All right. Fair. But no, for real, get on over there to the VFW here in Boone tonight for some good chicken, barbecue chicken. Barbecue chicken sounds really good tonight, so I like that idea. Anyway,
something different.
that's it.
It's a lighter meal, so come on out and join us.
Yeah,
Rock and Roll Kitchen.
It'd be great for a good summer meal. So, all right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take our break, and then we'll come right back into all about home construction, and that way we can get into our topic for the day. If I can find the right buttons here. There we go. Now we got it. Thanks for listening to us. We'll be right back right after this.
The Boone VFW Post 7031 is looking at making improvements to their Veterans Memorial Wall, and you can help. Here's Chuck.
We could do engraved bricks to cover the memorial. It's in honor of the veterans who have served and some that have given their all for our country. And that's the one thing that we feel as the VFW that we can do to honor those who have come before and those who are even present today.
But Chuck, what do we have to do to participate?
You don't have to be a war veteran in order to be a part of this memorial. It's just that you served.
What is the cost?
That fee is only $50, but it's a lifetime investment.
If you would like to help participate by honoring a family member, a friend, or a loved one, you can contact the Boone VFW Post 7031 at 828-264-9570. They are on VFW Drive just off of State Farm Road here in Boone. Thank you for all that I've served.
That's right. All about home construction here on WATA. And again, thanks for listening to us. And don't forget Randy's VFW chicken, not fry. What's the word I'm looking for? Chicken, barbecue chicken. That's the word I'm looking for. Barbecue chicken tonight, VFW 3 to 7 o'clock. Get on out there. It's going to be fun.
Well, I hope it is.
It's always fun with you. So, all right. Well, let's get into a little all about home construction. How about that?
Yep.
So, all right, this is something. This is actually a fun little topic because it's something we see all the time, and we deal with. Like we see it all the time. We're exposed to it all the time. We don't realize it. We don't think about it necessarily. But that is retaining walls.
Yes, it is.
They're all over the high country. You'd be hard pressed not to find one. I mean, you can go half a mile down any direction and probably see some kind of retaining wall, big or small.
Yeah, or we have some very large ones.
Very big one. Yeah, that's it. So, okay. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into a little bit about retaining walls.
You know, we can, like you say, we can drive around town and see them, and what the first one we got to looking up was the Gabion wall. Didn't even know what it's called, and that's the walls that are set up with the wire racks.
That's it, and you're seeing those a lot more. I think, well, especially maybe because of the hurricane, the efforts of getting the roads back together quickly. But you see a lot more of these. But even on the interstates, like I noticed, just driving across, and you see a lot more of these big ones, the large ones off the sides of the interstates. But then they make the small ones too. I mean, your homeowner size for your driveway and yards and things. And but yeah, it's just the big cage, typically filled with rock of some kind.
Yeah, type of gravel. Most of them have the big gravel. You can any kind of rock can go in it, as long as it fills the voids and packs tight.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just it's a genius looking idea. It's just a big cage.
Well, it meets all the requirements if you backset it.
That's okay. That's what I'm curious is like, how does it hold up the wall? How is it not just a freestanding wall? In other words, how does it?
Well, you have to put the stone in. Okay, so let's think about the weight of stone. I don't know the cubic foot of the wire basket, but if you were to put stone in it, clean stone, totally full,
Right.
it'd weigh about 120 pound a cubic foot.
Okay.
So let's say that rack's 6 foot long, 2 foot wide, 2 foot tall. That's a lot of weight sitting right
Sure.
there. Okay. And most of those walls that we're seeing, they've got river rock in them. You can put about anything, any kind of rock in it, as long as it don't fall out the holes.
Right.
And even some of the pictures they're showing them that they're stacking them up on top of each other straight, like making a straight wall. Mm-hmm. And then they're stepping them back 3 foot, building another wall, step back 3 foot. So they're covering mass distances.
Well, that's the cool thing, and I mean, it's again. There's big and small, right? Like you can put this in your backyard around your your outside kitchen, your little fire pit area. But you can also, again, like you can go all the way and you can put these on the side of the interstate. I mean, the technology is the same. The sizes are different, obviously, but the technology is the same. And, I think it's a pretty, I don't know, it just seems really cool to me.
Well, they do a lot of, they cover a lot of things. First off, one of the most important part about a retaining wall is drainage.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
So it has positive drainage continuously.
It keeps that water pressure from building up behind it.
And that's what blows walls out is water.
Well, also you have this, that's what I was going to say. Sorry, the water, like you reducing the pressure. It's a gravity wall though, basically.
Correct.
You're relying on the mass of the rock or whatever you fill it up with. I say that because apparently some places are playing around. It says it was kind of interesting. I was reading this. It was talking about how you can put like broken glass and recycled glass and do like murals and things with it.
Oh wow,
that seems like a lot of work, but it's still pretty cool. But basically anything can go in it. Typically you're going to see rock because that's the easiest. But it says you can even use like broken concrete. Like in other words, you can recycle things like concrete, asphalt chunks, and go in there too. And so that helps with some of that eco-friendly recycled side of things, which I thought was kind of cool. Because I mean, everyone has, think about it. Like they're always tearing up roads. They're always redoing. And so that's a great way to have a byproduct that you could come back in a little bit cheaper and maybe save some money on the filling end.
Well, correct. One thing they're saying on these walls is put your pretty rock or whatever you're going to do, your decorations to the front, use your junk in the back.
Fill it up in the back, exactly.
And I guess it'd be hard to shake the basket, but you'd want to try to settle everything you can. Because that would be the biggest drawback is if you don't get it.
I wonder if you could, I guess you could vibrate or tamp it down some.
It'd be hard to tamp with.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to get into it. Because they're showing all kinds of different rock.
Right.
Like they're showing riprap, pieces of riprap. But riprap's only that they're showing here is probably about a 4x4. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. And it's clean stone. It's not dirty stone.
Well, because you're not going to want dirt in there anyway. You're going to want that because that's the whole purpose of these drainage, right? Is to let that water pass through. Because again, that's the biggest thing with retaining walls. I mean, we've seen retaining walls blow out, and typically that's the hydraulic pressure behind it that's pushing that out, not necessarily the dirt. I mean, the dirt too, because the dirt holds the water and the hydraulic pressure, but it's that water pressure that's blowing it out.
Correct.
And that's what we've seen with the floods, right?
Yep. And these walls are designed to move, and expand and contract.
That's
And-
important. Yeah.
And they're saying they won't they will not crack.
There's nothing to crack, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And over time, I guess what it does is the wire rack will actually compress. It's what I'm looking at right here, and allows the wall to stay steady. Well, to give you an idea, across from Ingalls over there is the dialysis
Right.
office over there, and they built those walls out of that.
Yeah.
And
Well, okay, so that's a good place to look because you can sit right there and you can see like that's the side of that mountain there, right? Basically,
Yeah.
right, that big hill going up homespun there, and they've cut that out to build the building in there, and so there you have these huge, massive walls of this stuff, and yeah, it's really cool. I mean, you can go from medium to high walls, but you can also do like the tiered applications. So if you have a tall section,
Correct.
you can cut it back and tier it back, and
well, tearing retaining walls is very important. You know, I've seen a lot of people build wood retaining walls straight up,
Yes.
then they fail.
yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Small projects, again, garden, decorative barriers, things like that work the same principle. You're just dealing with a smaller scale, but overall, I mean, in terms of installing these things, they're I mean, you have to have equipment to get the rock in. You know, it depends on the height. I mean, the bigger the job, the more equipment you're going to need.
It is a labor-intensive wall.
To say it's a lot of, but it doesn't seem like a very labor or very maintenance intensive wall.
Well, eventually, the grass is going to grow through it. Okay, but it's not going to the dirt. It's going to take a while for dirt to get through it.
Right. Yeah.
I'm looking here a wire cage, 78 inches. Well, I got my alert coming in. It's a cage is $116,
Okay.
and I'm trying to find to say it.
Yeah. There's several cages. I can see some for
78 by
300.
19 by 39 is 116,
Okay.
and that's a pretty good size.
Yeah. This one's we'll see if I can do this 3 by 9, basically 3 by 20 by 20, and this one is about basically $300 that I'm looking at here, and so it's a little longer instead of taller, but yeah, I mean there's again what I like about this too is one cool thing you can do with this is you have that sort of modern look, but yet it's natural look too. You know, depend on the stone, obviously, but you can go in and you could really, you know, you can make it look blend in natural. Not, I mean, obviously not natural, but you know what I'm saying. It'll blend in with that aesthetics if that's what you like here in the high country.
Yep.
I like it. Yeah.
Well, it will. That behind that dialysis center, they used to look like a Teflon coated cage because it was green.
Yep.
And they're made out of they have to be made out of a G90 galvanized.
I would say everything I've seen when you're looking online to buy, it's just galvanized, heavy gauge welded garden basket. But most of the retaining walls, you're just seeing the word galvanized, and so it is. It's galvanized steel. But again, I would imagine over time, as if the wire did fail, if it's packed in by then, it's going to have some structure of its own.
Well, you know, I don't know because I had around 2005, I made a lot for the cattle so I could run them down.
Right.
And I used 8-inch C's that come in metal buildings. Mm-hmm. And see, it has G90 galvanization on it. And there's not any rust or anything on it. So we're going on 20 years with it.
That nice. Yeah.
So at that case, it might go, these might go 50, 60
I was
years.
going to say, as long as you don't scratch the galvanized off, galvanized doesn't, I mean, that's the point of having galvanized metal, right? Typically, when you see galvanized that's failing and rusting, corroding, it's because it's been scratched or scuffed up.
Yep.
So that makes sense. It makes sense. And I guess ideally you would have some kind of fabric behind that, especially if you're doing a larger section, just to kind of keep the dirt from coming in.
They're actually not showing any fabric behind it
Okay.
on the wall.
It would just kind of make sense to me
But
to put some geofabric up to keep the mesh from.
Well, it can. You could you could use that. But what they're showing is if it depends on how high the wall is, that instead of having one segment, you might have three segments, then back off, stand them over, like 6 inches, and then go up like that and back.
Like a tiered section.
Like a big dam.
Yeah. 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 Okay. I like it. Again, best part, little upkeep once you're done. It's great.
So if you go 24 foot high in this wall, you have to have a base 15 foot wide
Okay.
and stagger back. That's pretty wild. I looked across that picture.
Well, by the way, the name comes from, and I can't speak Italian, but it's Gabion in Italian. It means big cage. So there you go. It's literally called what it is. That's great.
Well, that's all right. They're the ones designing.
Big cage. Well, cool. Cool. All right. Well, okay. When we talk about retaining walls, essentially there's like 4 different types of retaining walls. So we mentioned this one's a gravity. The Gabion is a gravity wall. A gravity. It relies on its own weight basically to hold that soil back.
Correct.
So that's like one structure, one type of retaining walls. Another type is the cantilever type, which typically uses like a concrete base or something that leverages that to resist the pressure. In other words, all that pressure is pushing back down on that base. And then we have what I would argue is probably the more common ones that we see, especially the expense-wise, and that's the anchored walls, where you have something, whether it's wood, steel, or cable or something that's anchored back into the wall or to the ground.
Well, dead men.
Yeah, exactly. And that's holding that wall in place.
And a lot of walls fail because especially wood walls, because they don't have dead men in them.
Right.
And they don't have enough in them.
Right, exactly. And so that's like an anchored wall. And then there's the segment and block walls, and that's the stackable things that we see. So I guess those are the 4 types that we're overall talking about. I guess in other words, all the retaining walls will fall into those 4 types of walls.
Yeah.
So
you got straight concrete walls too.
Well, I guess that's more of what I'm going with the cantilever, where it's just a concrete that's pushing. In other words, the weight and the pressure is pushing down to the base of it. That's where I was going with the
Okay.
concrete.
Yeah.
So
okay.
that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, we built one time. Gosh, I can't remember how long it was. I want to say it's 40 foot long and 18 foot high. Now, don't quote me on that. And but the amount of concrete that was in the base, because there are different cantilever walls. You have first off you have a footer.
Yep.
And then the footer sticks out so far from the front, so far in the back, and so the back of the footer is like 2/3 what the front is. Depends on your height. You have to, one thing we've not talked about is that you cannot cross 4 foot above ground with a retaining wall without having it engineered.
And that's any wall. I mean
That's any wall.
4 foot. Okay.
Yeah, in the state it used to be 5, and then they changed it to 4 foot. And because wood walls, cross tie walls, treated lumber, cross tie walls, any homeowner can build those themselves. Mm-hmm. And so if they build that wall and they don't put adequate dead men in it, then eventually the ground is going to push it over.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay? And so the walls I've built in the past, it's been a long time, but I always set them back 3/4 of an inch. And then back then we didn't have any ollie screws that we could use to put in them.
Right.
So I was driving 60-penny spikes in them, and then also taking a long drill bit and taking and drilling and putting rebar through them. So when the rebar went through, it went through 3 layers at a time.
Nice.
And but
Now, okay. So again, I guess not to jump around too much, but it goes back to what product you're using.
Correct.
Depends on what type you're building, essentially. Because like you said, you're talking about wooden retaining walls where you can drill into it easy and things like that. But really, you can use, it's essentially a ton of different types of materials, from concrete to rock to metal, and so on. So I guess what it really comes down to is sort of the cost for like what you're willing to put in cost wise to fit the need that you have. Depending on the size of the wall that you need, what you're holding back, and then how much you want to spend on it, I guess, is really what it all comes down to any of these.
Correct. And getting back to the wood walls, I just don't believe I'd build any wooden wall now out of a 6x6 treated. With what I'm finding,
They just don't last.
what I'm finding in these decks and stuff for these posts rotting.
Yeah.
10 years ago, we put a railing on a house. Well, now that a 6x6 post is already rotted out.
Yeah.
I showed you that picture of that deck in Caldwell County where the top had already started rotting out. And I guess that's the reason the segmented block has really come on pretty heavy, because they're not going to rot.
Right. Well, okay. Let's go back to where you were talking about on 105 there, right? Next to the dialysis place, you see the rock wall, the Gabion wall on one side. If you look across the road, basically, Ingalls, you have a huge, and probably the biggest I can think of around, wooden retaining wall.
Well, now the treatment on that wall is totally different. A homeowner cannot buy that material. Okay. And that material is still used today, and that's used in wooden telephone poles. And any timber that you see the state use, that has the same treatment as that retaining wall.
Gotcha. Okay.
See, that still has arsenic and stuff in it.
That's what I always wondered. Because that's been there, someone could correct me by all means, but 25, 30 years or more.
It's been there a long time. I can't remember, when around 2006, we had a class 2007 on treated lumber, and we had a gentleman from the state of North Carolina come and give a talk on it. And the treatment that was used up until they took the arsenic out was the same that they've been using since the 40s.
Now, that's different than creosote, though.
Correct.
Okay.
Creosote is a carcinogen. I don't know what the makeup of creosote is. But when you do a creosote wall, you're using a product that's already wore out. They wouldn't replace it if it wasn't.
Right. Well, and that goes back to your whole, which is what you think of a lot when you see a wooden retaining wall, and that's the recycled, the railroad ties. These old railroad ties that or railroad timbers, whatever name you want to put on it, right? These materials that they're taken off of the railroad. When they need to replace them, and these huge solid beams. I guess typically they're
8 by 8s.
8 by 8s or so, 8-9 foot long.
I don't know how long.
I guess they come in different sizes, but I think typically they're about 8 foot long, give or take. And they're pressure treated with this tar based creosote, and that's what's protecting it against the rot and the insects.
Well, most cross ties are made out of oak. That's the reason they do them.
Yep, and you get that lovely aroma of creosote.
Well, I've put quite a few of those up too. 8 foot or 8'6" or 9 foot long.
Okay, see, I was right. About 8 foot. I got it right.
Yeah, there you go. And they're relatively cheap, and you can put them together with 60-penny nails and.
Yeah.
And they hold up a long time, but they'll hold up, even though they're used, they'll do better than a 6x6 treated lumber.
Right. Well, and you got to be careful because, again, you're not going to put that with your garden bed around your vegetable garden.
No.
You're not going to do that in your kid's play area, things like that. But they do look good. I mean, they look naturalish. They fit in, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They don't necessarily stand out, and a lot of that's because it's what we're used to seeing. But you can use those for retaining walls and things like that. I like them. I mean, again, it's the kind of the go-to, if you will, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yep.
So, yeah. I think the biggest thing though is just that carcinogenic part. But that's just me. What can I say? Let's take a break, and we'll come right back right after this. Thanks for listening to us.
Are you looking for a sawmill dealership that can provide you with the quality equipment you need to get the job done? Look no further than Blue Ridge Sawmills. We offer the full line of Hudson sawmills and sawmilling equipment, from portable sawmills to skidding winches. At Blue Ridge Sawmills, we understand that every project is different, which is why we offer a wide range of sawmilling services. We can help you from everything from finding the right mill for your farm, hobby, or even your business. We also offer a variety of sawmilling supplies, such as blades and debarkers, so you can get everything you need in one place. If you're looking for a sawmill dealership that can provide you with the quality equipment and the service you need, then come to Blue Ridge Sawmills. We're here to help you get the job done. Call or visit our Cana, Virginia store at 276-755-3833 or our Asheboro, North Carolina location at 336-964-8304.
That's right. All about home construction here on WATA. And again, thanks to all of our listeners out there, both on the podcast and here on WATA. And Randy, if I'm hungry tonight and I want barbecued chicken, where do I go?
Oh, yeah. 144 VFW Drive.
All right. 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock here in Boone. Barbecue chicken. First time you've done it,
Leg
right?
quarters.
Leg
I've
quarters.
never done it before. Now, we've been trying to get Chuck on here for the last year about the memorial.
Right.
And so if y'all come, go look at the memorial. He started it. But if you have a family member that is a veteran, you can buy a brick that can go on the memorial. And it doesn't make any difference if it's a veteran of foreign wars, it's just a veteran.
Nice.
It takes a lot of people to realize that probably every veteran in combat, there might be 10, 20, 30,000 behind them.
Exactly. Well, that's the cool part. Again, it's not just for veterans of foreign wars. It's for all veterans. And, go on over there and you can get your own brick. And actually, not too long ago, they posted those, the ones that have already came in, and they look really cool. They're pretty cool looking. So,
well, they are, and they're etched in, and they're painted. I guess it's a beige block brick.
Right.
And it's etched, and it's painted black.
Pretty cool.
With the name and stuff, and you put 3 lines on it.
They definitely pop. They look cool.
And he started the border, which, I got to commend Chuck being 83 years old, him taking this project on.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And remember, if you come in tonight, you don't have to come through the bar. We have a door. The deck is finally on.
Yeah, it's a cute little deck.
And so you can go in that way, so you don't have to come through the bar or come through the smoke. And there is no smoking in the hall. Hadn't been in a long time.
Right. Well, that's
10
awesome.
years.
That's awesome. And I guess you guys are being able to serve wine now for the meal.
Oh, I forgot about the wine. Yeah, we have red wine and white wine.
Nice. Of course, you got the bar in there if you want something else.
Yeah.
Or if you don't want anything, you don't have to drink wine or beer. I'm just saying it's an option. That's always fun. And then again, just really good food.
We try to compliment everybody. We've some people want coffee, some people want tea. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we buy coffee, buy tea, and it's never drank.
Yeah. You never know. That's it.
So it's just hard. It's hard to do. Mm-hmm. But getting off the food now, I was looking up the characteristics of creosote.
Okay.
It's made out of coal tar. Excuse me.
So it's I would assume that would be a byproduct of when they're in the coal process.
Yeah.
There you go.
And you can also make it out of wood tar, and which are aromatic hydrocarbons, making it effective as a wood preservative, but also toxic.
That's what smells.
Yes.
That's the thing.
And,
I mean, that's the thing. Like when you mess with it at all, and I've known people who, when it comes to the installation part, and they're cutting it and moving it and messing with it, break out in rashes too.
Well, I'm allergic to it. If handling it don't bother me at all, it's when I go to sawing it with a chainsaw,
Breathing it in,
and it gets on my skin.
just getting that dust. Yep. Yeah. That's one of the problems with it. But again,
It's a distilled product, and it is used as a preservatives or an antiseptic. What do you think about that?
Just rub some on that wound of yours. Next time you get a cut,
Keep the flies off.
That makes sense. Whew. I don't think I'd do that for, it may cause cancer, but a good thing is it'll keep the flies away for those bacteria, those flesh-eating flies that you're worried about.
And also, wood tar creosote. Carbonization of wood has been historically used for medicinal purposes. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
Cool.
2 types of creosote.
There you go. I didn't know that.
Me neither.
Well, again, the retaining walls, the wooden retaining walls are a dime a dozen because of that. And but again, I've seen a lot of them fail because it's more than just stacking a log on top of the other log. And I think that's where if you don't know how to put it together correctly, right?
Correct.
But that goes back to my next question is, at what point do you need to engineer a retaining wall versus just throw up some logs or
4
something?
foot.
So anything after that is actually engineered. It's not just
Correct.
a permit.
That's right. And just remember, if you want to build your own retaining wall, that out of wood, you've got to put dead men in it. Okay, the dead men starts about the 2nd or 3rd course up.
Okay.
All right, that's to keep from blowing out the lower courses. Like I said, you can use ollie screws, to help, but rebar is a big part of it. Drilling a hole and driving rebar to hold them in.
Right.
Now or 60 penny nails.
That's a lot of work though. That's no easy feat.
No, it's not. But I watched a video the other day where somebody had taken an SD Max hammer drill, and they wore a bit out, they cut it off, and they welded a piece of pipe to it. So they were actually driving the rebar with that XD Max.
Huh.
I thought that's
pretty cool.
So that would actually, if you had one of those, save you a lot of time instead of using a 3-pound or an 8-pound sledge.
Yeah.
And,
well, I've driven some rebar through wood, and it's even drilling a hole, it's not easy still. I mean, it's still some work.
Yes, it is. But back when I built those retaining walls, we didn't have geocloth.
Right.
Okay. So I had more dead men in the wall. Like I had offset layers, but generally about 8 foot apart. Okay. So they were staggered. So there was always one in the middle, 2 logs down. Mm-hmm. And
so you would still put geocloth behind the wood?
Not when you're using dead men. Geocloth replaces dead men. That is your dead men. Okay.
Because it's keeping the water hydraulic pressure from building.
Correct. Okay. And when you use geocloth, now when we use the dead men, let's go back to that. I only put gravel around the bottom. Okay. When you use geocloth, you want to gravel all the way to the top. All right.
Gotcha.
Like the Gabion walls.
Yeah.
All right. It's got all the rock in it. It has the same effect.
So okay. So I guess that's where I'm going in my brain. That's what I'm trying to figure out, how it's keeping that hydraulic pressure out, because it's the gravel now that's letting that drainage out.
Correct.
Okay.
That relieves the pressure on the wall.
That makes sense. A little more expensive. I mean, it's a lot of gravel.
It is. Gravel's not cheap since we've had the hurricane. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And but now, if you decided to go with treated lumber, make sure you put the geocloth in. Make sure you put the gravel behind it. So that's what's destroying the treated lumber, is not staying dry.
Right. Well, and that's the key, right? Is that drainage in general. So, do you ever put in something like a French drain behind that?
We put French drain behind everything.
Okay. Here's one thing I've always been curious about is like, can you have too much drainage, right? Like, why don't you put a drain towards the bottom, and then as you're tearing it back, building up, you put another drain towards the middle, and then especially I'm thinking like a large wall here. Is that overkill?
No.
Because again, I just go back to where the hydraulic pressure, that water building up in the soil is what causes walls to fail. And to me, it's like the more drains you can have, the better.
Well, that's the reason I say fill it all the way to the top. If you fill it all the way to the top, then you have total drainage. We've talked about me backfilling houses with gravel all the way to the top.
Exactly.
We use railroad mat, not railroad mat, but road mat.
Right.
You can get road mat up to 12 foot wide.
Which is that geo cloth.
Yeah.
Just
so
larger.
if you take and put the road mat down in the bottom, put your French drain on it, then start backfilling it all the way to the top, and then wrap it over and put your dirt on it. Mm-hmm. Now you've got all that water that can run off. We actually had that guy, I can't think of his name in here, had that patent on older homes.
Yeah, the walls, yeah.
And his system was a 6-inch wall that he filled full of gravel. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember what they talked about, but he could put 10,000 gallons of water out of it.
Yes.
In a few minutes, 10,000 gallons of water was leaving the foundation.
That's it. I'll have to. We'll have to dig that show up out of the archive and put that up on the podcast.
I've tried to call him a time or two.
That's cool. So
I think Jody was his name.
Yep, Jody. Yep.
To give you an idea, on a 6x6x8 treated timber is $35.78. A 7x9 by 8.5 inch or 8.5 feet cross tie is $24.98.
Okay.
So see, that's the reason a lot of people probably go with cross ties.
Sure. A lot cheaper.
You know, you're saving right at not quite $11.
Exactly.
But now the cross tie they've had trains run across them, and some of them are warped. You might have to cut some in half, but if you get some that you might have to cut in half, that might be your dead man.
I was going to say that's your dead man, or that's your end piece.
Because what I mean by dead man is you turn the piece perpendicular and you go back into the bank. Yeah. You dig out, take another piece, and anchor it together to make a T-post.
Exactly.
And that the force of the ground is going to hold you. Now, I know you all been to Lowe's and seen these little dickens here. 3 by 4 inch. They're saying unfinished pressure treated landscape timber.
Yep.
I mean, they're $4.98.
But again, pressure treated is just not the same as it was.
Well, those aren't really pressure treated because you can look in the picture and the pressure treating don't go all the way through it.
Exactly.
That's the reason within 5 years, them little boogers right there is rotted out.
That's it. Well, cool. There's still a ton of stuff that I think we could talk about on this, and it's just fun, good stuff. But it's time to wrap things up. Again, don't forget the VFW, the barbecue chicken dinner tonight, 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Get on over there to the VFW and get some nice barbecue chicken. It'll be fun. It'll be good. You can say hello to Randy. So.
Yeah. Matter of fact, this will be the first dinner we've had in a long time. Everything comes out of the kitchen.
Hey, there we go. All right, man. Well, good luck tonight, and thanks for coming in. Thanks for all of our listeners out there for tolerating us for another week, and welcome to the new studio, man. It's fun.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it?
It's fun. It's clean. It's different. It's new. It's fresh. It's got that new wood smell. So I like it. All right, man. Randy, we'll talk to you next time. Take it easy, and everyone else, thanks for listening to us. See you later, man.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the podcast edition of All About Home Construction. We want to thank Skipper, Dave, and Bill for supporting the show. If you're enjoying this episode and you want to help us by creating some more awesome content, there are a few ways you can show your support. Subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. This actually helps us reach new listeners and climb the charts. And please share this episode with your friends and family. Word of mouth is always the best kind of advertising. You can support us directly through our page on Spotify. The links are in the show notes. Thanks for listening to us.